Hello everyone, this is the Grim Reader here with a weekly reading update. I'm looking down and distracted because Lily's here meowing, threatening to jump up. This is going to be a short one. I've gone back to work, school, and it's still in the beginning phase where I'm more anxious as opposed to actually busy. But it's as if, because of that, I don't know, I'm just kind of a little bit not quite where I should be for making a video. But I do want to keep up the weekly stuff anyway. I think I'll settle down and just be tired and then I'll kind of want to do them more, if that makes any sense. Probably not. My first DNF of the year was Snow Country by Kawabata, which I thought I would like. Now but I didn't like it. It's from 1956. And there are aspects of Japanese culture that I find fascinating, and I'm kind of like down for totally like stationary and certain things to do with how they structure their societies. I don't know, I find kind of endearing, but it has to be said, it's extremely patriarchal. It's still to this day, from what I gather, and then this book is like, it's all about this guy and his relationship to this lady. And I wanted to do research on geisha and the history of the geisha, and I did a little bit, but just the way I don't know, it was too patriarchal for my liking. And the female voice of the novel, she's an important part of the novel, was so decentered, at least at the beginning, and kind of what's the word, condescending, just kind of not as important as him. It's all about him and his feelings and his thinking and his judging of how amateur, she's an amateur, like geisha or whatever that, whatever that exactly means. And I know it's complicated and layered, but it was just irking. I find it irksome. I'm too much of a feminist to be able to deal with this shit. I'm sorry, bad word. Couldn't handle it. Bye-bye. And so, of course, I needed something a little bit different, and I sure got something different, and I'm glad because I'm enjoying it. And that is this fairly new novel. I don't know how exactly new. Translated from Catalan, 2021, originally published to 2018. So, so it's Prima Frost. I don't know what that would be in Catalan. And it's translated by Julia Sanchez. And so this is, on the Goodreads, it says cynical lesbian narrator. And yeah, sure, and it does come with trigger warnings for suicidal stuff and self-harm. But I just find her totally endearing. I know, she's and I have actually thought about this, and so I put her in the family of sort of disgruntled female subjects of books like My Year of Rest and Relaxation, and even to a certain extent Alberta from the Cora Sandel trilogy. They were different, of course, and she's different. She's definitely her own lady, and I gotta love her. She's funny. And okay, so what I like about it is not only is it female, lesbian centric, whatever, but it's anti-capitalist. It's anti-bourgeoisie, and that appeals to me to a certain extent, even though I fully understand how much I am a complicit in this society. But the fact that she hates her sort of more normcore sister, and the fact that and she makes fun of her in this funny way, or her mother, she doesn't have a lot of patience for their wanting her to conform. They wanted to conform. They wanted to be quote unquote normal, and she's not normal. She's just kind of floating about. It's also sort of funny. Like, her of all people would be an au pair, and she actually kind of likes being an au pair, and it's exactly kind of how she envisioned it. She just spends a lot of her time reading all kinds of stuff. She's very well read. And so, but it's funny how she's very well read, but she doesn't sort of foreground what she's read about, only in the sense that she's reflective. She reflects on her situations and on her, things that she likes, things she doesn't like. It does have a sense of it being almost like a female Bildungsroman, and kind of reclaiming her identity as someone who enjoys lesbian sex. And yeah, just exactly what I needed after the patriarchal stuff from Kawabata. And yeah, I'm enjoying it. And it's short, and I'm kind of glad that it's short because I'm not sure how, but in a way I am enjoying it. And I guess, so yeah, she's basically kind of sad and depressed, but even that, there's a kind of distancing, and I guess that's the permafrost metaphor of these layers between her and her environment, and her, or her inability to feel, although I see her as someone who's very, very full of feelings, and even kind of warm feelings to her people around her, even though it's sort of, the way it's written, she's supposed to be disaffected and like jumping from one lover to another, but still there's a lot of warmth there. I mean, maybe that's part of the dichotomy or the irony of it. She's not really frosty, I don't think. She's just sort of irritated by what society expects of her, which, and she's sort of not conforming in the sense she's not sort of going after a career. She studied art history. She's sort of loping around, not doing that much with her life, except living, you know, and jumping around Europe and these different places. And that's kind of what reminded me a little bit of Alberta. Alberta also, you had the sense of her, well, she was very poor. She was sort of, it's a different type of, but you had the sense of her, with her, it was more like a passivity. Like, why isn't she doing more with her life? But I kind of still think, I haven't read the last one, I've only read the first two, that with her it was about needing to be in this kind of liminal space for a while to discover her own identity core as a writer, you know, like the sometimes and so to me there's a kind of intersection there with a certain feminist idea that like doing nothing is also political, or you know, not being even as simple as being lazy, or being not being a good citizen or middle class citizen by always being productive, like going against the cult of productivity and all that stuff. And perhaps because I'm sort of going back to work and having to be productive, and even just part of myself, I am kind of down for that, or I think it's interesting, like there's a certain kind of statement to be made by not being a part of society and by just resisting in that kind of quiet way. And there's, I haven't done, I haven't really done research on this, but there's sort of there are feminist texts on like the sick woman thing and other ones where, you know, there's a feminist I follow on Twitter, and her whole thing is killjoy. She's a feminist killjoy, and the concept of being a killjoy. And anyway, but that's a little bit far afield, and I need to do more research on that. So it's going well. And then, of course, I'm still listening to the Middle Ages, which is, of course, is very patriarchal in its own way, because it's all about men killing each other, basically. And I've just gone through the Mongols, fascinating, completely bloody, gory stuff. The Mongols were, I mean, Genghis Khan, the fact that this German group sang about him at the Eurovision, and he was like, okay, granted military genius or whatever, but also extremely ruthless. So the Mongols, but it's very interesting. I didn't really know much about them, so now I know a tiny bit more. Not much more, but a little bit more. And he's racing through, and now we're with the merchant cities. We're in Venice. We talked a little bit about Marco Polo. Some of the chapters, I don't know. I'd have to just even there do more research. I thought the monks chapter could have been more interesting or just more engaging. I don't know. That's probably where his strength is. I thought the Crusade chapter was okay. One thing that does come out of it is the kind of how the blurred lines between the Western or First World or whatever you want to call it and the East. You know, I mean, not perhaps the Near East, but it's all kind of like. There's so much back and forth the whole time with the Mongols and whatever, and I mean the Crusades, for sure. That to this othering that happens is seems kind of artificial, but I guess that's not really saying much. So yeah, it's a good listen. It still has, because it's history. There's a lot of it, and I think I'm just gonna go with the flow and not worry too much about the fact that I'm not getting I mean, I should just sit down and memorize stuff. It's almost like you have to memorize your dates, you have to memorize your people, and I don't really have time to do that. This is Lily. She wants to say hi. She's kind of like, I don't know why she's being this way. And I think that's about it though. I don't have a lot to say about the other reading group thing that I'm in, just because it's almost kind of gonna have to stop, I think, because, here's Lily, because of time and being busy. Yeah, baby, are you busy? Are you busy? Sorry, I'm messing around with the camera here. I think I'm going to sign off. Very quick one here, because I want to have a bit of a nice evening, a bit of a cozy evening. If any of you watch Prue's Project, the booktuber, she always does these nice little vlogs where she does the evening routine, where she changes her clothes and feeds her cute doggy, and I kind of like want to do that too, now that I'm so busy. And Lily says, yes, you have to stop working. For one thing, I have to clean their business. That's my job. And I will talk to you. Sorry about the wacky angles here at the end. I'm going to sign off here. Bye. I'll see you all next week. What are you all reading? Put down in if you want to, if you want to leave a little comment. Tell me what people are reading. I would like to sort of get some ideas of what people who are looking at my channel are reading. And I will see you soon. Bye.